Greetings, brutal planet.
Gang, gang.
Yeah. We're gonna try something. We're gonna try something new tonight. Because I fucked up. Lorraine Lewis of Vixen and Femme Fatale is gonna join us in about an hour. Because I'm in the wrong time zone, basically. It's basically that simple.
That's all right.
I told her 7:30, and I didn't say 7:30 Mountain Time. I said 7:30.
That's
so
fine.
She'll be on 7:30 PST, but we got plenty of other stuff to cover in the meantime. So,
as I was watching and I saw Pantera was on our little feed there, and I reminded me that I went to the grave site.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share some photos?
Well, I can. I mean, I could share some photos. I could send them to you. Does that work?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. You can now. StreamYard has a new feature where you can share images. If you go to present and hit image file,
if you have them on your computer.
If you have them on your computer. If not, no big deal. If not, nobody. We can talk. We can cover them later. But so Lorraine Lewis will be joining us in about an hour. I fucked up the booking, or she'd be with us right now. But we have a lot to ask her about. A lot of cool stuff to talk about. It's going to be a fun interview. Apparently, she is from Albuquerque originally.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to ask her about that. I know that the band Femme Fatale started in Albuquerque, which is interesting. Also, Dryden, you reminded me about Jim Morrison.
Oh, yeah, because that book I was reading, the, what's it called? No One Gets Out Alive. Is that the name of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, I'm sure there's others, but if that's
the one, it's like his biography or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, the first page is like Jim Morrison grew up in Albuquerque because his dad was like a Navy military guy. So he was always, that was like his first 13 years or some shit of his life.
Well, that's kind of weird, though, because there's no ocean in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Why would you be in the Navy in Albuquerque?
There you go.
Did you want to share those Pantera photos, Eric?
Yeah, I'm bringing. I was just trying to find him.
I had to throw that
down. Of Joey.
Yeah, I don't know if Joey's going to join us or not. He didn't sound like he was.
Yeah, probably not.
Colette said she was going to jump on too, but regardless, we're going to have a party.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Damn, dude.
While you look for those Pantera photos, let's do our first story tonight, because it's an interesting one. Buzz Osbourne asked to join Nirvana. If you follow metal at all and you follow Chris Garza's podcast, you probably saw this reel that he posted. But I'm going to share it anyway because I thought it was good and we can talk about it. So the idea is there's a rumor that at one point Buzz from the Melvins was asked to join Nirvana as a second guitarist. We'll let you be the judge here.
I don't even know that you got asked to join Nirvana, and you said no.
I didn't.
You sure?
No, I didn't.
I have the book right here that I read it in.
Well, then it must be true. What book?
This.
No, I've never read that book, but that is absolute bullshit.
It's a Dave Grohl quote.
Well, it's not true.
Really?
No, they never asked me.
From what the quote says, they wanted a second guitar player, and they said they first asked Steve from Mudhoney. Well, I guess now it's claimed. Dave Grohl says they asked him first, and he said no. Then they said they asked you, and you said no. And that's how they got Pat Smear.
Total bullshit.
Wow.
That is total bullshit. Nobody in their camp ever asked me to do anything like that with them.
It was an interview from France, February in 1991.
They could have misquoted him.
What else did I fucking read? And that's not even true.
Oh, lots of stuff.
Oh, gosh. I wasn't there in the 80s or 90s. All I have is these books. How do you find things that are
Just do your best.
True? Just do your best.
Do your best. Take it with a grain of salt. It's the best thing you can do. Most of that stuff, especially about Nirvana, isn't true. Mm-hmm. Nobody listens to me. Maybe Dave Grohl did say that. I don't know, but I know it's not true. You know?
Oh my gosh.
He very well may have said it, but maybe it's taken out of context. I don't know. Fiction is always better than the truth anyway. I like that idea. Yes, I was asked to join Nirvana, and I said, "There's no fucking way I'm going to do it."
Yeah. But he seems very cool, Buzz Osbourne.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and the Melvins have stood the test of time. Like you said, they've opened for like everybody for 30 years or however long.
Yeah, I've seen them open for everybody.
Yeah.
They're not much of a headliner, but they do open for everybody.
Yeah, they've just been around playing shows forever.
Yeah, they're one of those bands too. I've said this before, and no disrespect to the Melvins because I think they're amazing. Especially Dale Crover, their drummer, is a bad motherfucker. We posted that reel recently where Phil was talking about how Dale Crover influenced Far Beyond Driven's drum sounds.
Okay.
But this is what I said about the Melvins. I don't remember any of their songs.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Like it's not that I like when I hear their shit, I jam on it. I'm like, this is pretty dope. But like none of it sticks. I just don't remember it. Like it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
I just don't remember.
I agree.
But also, what I thought was interesting about this is the way that rumors get out and kind of like who knows how much of this stuff is fabricated.
And there's so many books that are like Kurt Cobain's secret tales or whatever. Like I have a book of like Kurt Cobain's journal and shit like that. And I'm sure a lot of it is true. But like he said, again, you got to take some of that with a grain of salt because.
Yeah. If it's like any of those guys, if they're not here to verify it, how can you trust it? You know?
Exactly.
That's a tough one. But yeah, I thought that was cool just because for that reason on its own, where it's like there's Pussy goes, just do your best. I love Buzz's advice.
Well, and I like that he was like, well, I literally read that quote from Dave Grohl. Like, I'm not lying, I swear. Like, that's not so.
That's the point that I was trying to make that I wish I had made. But yeah, it basically, even if you do due diligence and you cite a source like a book like that, even the book could be nonsense. So it's you really have to. I mean, honestly, I feel like so much is that way these days, where it's so much is distorted and twisted through just. Do you remember that game Telephone that you used to play in elementary school, where you whisper something in someone's ear and it goes around the circle?
And always gets fucked.
Oh
up.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how like the media is now. I feel like. Because there's so much stuff that one tiny little thing gets twisted and bent out of proportion, and then before you know it, it's like, you know, so and so is a Nazi or so and so is a sexual assaulter.
Well, and then you ask someone, and you're like, "Well, why is that?" And they're like, "Well, that's because I don't know." Like
I read it in this story.
Yeah,
this guy quoted in this news article or this book,
it's like,
just like that. Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of gossip and rumors, do you guys want to talk about Slayer?
Yeah, I always want to talk about Slayer.
Got to get the angel.
Just for our viewers too, Lorraine Lewis is going to be joining us in about an hour. So if you're here to catch her interview, tune back in and you know, you don't want to listen to our dumbasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm not.
You know, you're here for us too. We rule.
Yeah.
And the Brutal Planet OnlyFans will be releasing shortly.
No. We'll talk about the nuances of that when Lorraine gets here. But let's talk about Slayer. I thought this was an interesting story from the nice folks at Blabbermouth, of course. Kerry King talking about his current relationship with Tom Araya. People in the comments, because I pronounced his name Araya, I was like, oh, Tom Araya, and they're like, it's Araya.
Arya. I'll say Arya.
I think he's like Peruvian or something, but honestly, I appreciate that. Like I appreciate people taking the time to correct my pronunciation, because I like to be accurate. So Tom Araya, for all the sticklers out there. Not the guy I started the band with. So there's a couple like juicy little gossip tidbits in here.
Yeah.
So let's read it. In a new interview with Luis Cesar Pimentel of Brazil's Cucamonga, Slayer's Kerry King was asked how the 2013 death of the band's someone just changed the slide of the band's founding guitarist. I probably did it. I'm trying to blame you guys. I'm not trying to hold you guys up.
Blame us, aren't you?
maybe the ghost of Jeff Hanneman changed the slide.
Yeah.
Huh?
There you go.
Kerry King was asked how the 2013 death of the band's founding guitarist Jeff Hanneman affected his relationship with Slayer vocalist Tom Araya. Kerry responded, as Travis Scott, blah, 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 blah. I think Jeff's passing weighed harder on Tom than it did me. And I don't mean that from any kind of friendship perspective. It's just my taking wasn't as bad as Tom took it. Of course, it was horrible and no one ever wanted that to happen, but it really weighed on Tom. I think that's what led him wanting to retire earlier than me, because I think he felt the band was different. But then out of nowhere, Tom decided he wanted to play some Slayer shows last year. And I went, well, I never wanted to stop playing shows. So yeah, let's try it out. That sounds like Kerry King. I mean, I saw his band, a month or so ago, and he's killer. They were killer, dude. I honestly, I like dude's voice from, isn't he from Death Angel? The guy he's got singing for him. Dude, that guy's got a hard voice. And I don't want to say it's better than Tom, but like, Tom in his prime is obviously, but it's killer. Like the Kerry King and the renditions they do of the Slayer stuff is killer too. You've seen him, Eric,
Yeah, he's great.
I've seen him too. When they opened for Lamb of God.
That's right. That's
Mastodon.
Right. We've all seen him separately. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
We've all sold separately.
I saw him on that same. I saw him on the same tour that Dryden's on.
Yeah. It pisses me off too, kind of, that people say it's like, oh, it sounds like Slayer, and it's like, whoa,
of course it does.
Everything is Slayer, like,
yeah.
What do you expect?
Jeff Hanneman apparently wrote a lot of their.
No, I don't deny that either. But you know what I mean? It's like, of course, it's gonna sound like Slayer. He's the fucking guitar player of Slayer. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and as you can tell, he's like, he didn't want to stop doing shows, so he's kind of
that's kind of the point I was getting at too.
Solo to fill the void. Anyway, King continued, just like it was in the earlier years of Slayer, Tom and I don't talk on the phone. We rarely text each other, and that's just because when you're together for 40 years, he became a very different person. He's not the guy I started the band with, not personally, just him. He's a different person. I basically stayed very similar to who I've been in my 20s. Yo, I'm the same motherfucker that has been since like I was like 13. So I can totally relate to that. Not personally, just And I like Tom. We're cool. We got together last year to rehearse for the Slayer shows. It wasn't weird. We did those 2 shows at Riot Fest and Aftershock in Sacramento. He was super happy. We got together after the second one. He had a shot after the show. He'll drink tequila, and I love tequila. So that's what we had. And I think the first idea to play this year was for the show we missed last year because of the hurricane. So we rebooked that. And I said, if we never play another show, I want to make that right with the promoter because it wasn't our fault. But he wanted us to play. So we're playing there this year. And this year we get to play with Black Sabbath. I can't fucking wait.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Slayer came out of retirement just to play with Black Sabbath. Like, I know there's probably some bands that would do that.
Shit, yeah. I mean, you can't blame them.
In January 2011, Hanneman contracted a necrotizing fasciitis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Also known as flesh-eating disease. It's so ironic to me that that's how he died because Slayer, like, it's like, it'd be like if one of the guys from Cannibal Corpse was like butchered to death,
exactly,
into an oil draw. It's like, dude, holy shit. Like all your songs are about this. Like, no, but that's terrible. But he actually didn't die of that, supposedly. From a spider bite in his backyard. The infection ravaged the flesh tissues of Hanneman's arm, leading to numerous surgeries, skin grafts, and intense periods of rehab that forced him into semi-retirement and left him near death at several points. Hanneman eventually died in May 2013 from alcohol-related cirrhosis of the liver. He's credited for writing many of Slayer's classic songs, including Angel of Death and South of Heaven. So yeah, like I mean, I'm sure that the spider bite took a toll on his liver. It probably helped the cirrhosis along, maybe, but
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, what kind of spider bit him too?
Yeah, that's
any spider.
He said it was like in his hot tub outside or something. He got bit by some spider and fucking.
Damn,
weird.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Back in February 2024, Kerry was asked by Rolling Stone how he found out Araya wanted to retire. King said at the time, we were on tour and some kid was interviewing him and he said something about, I've got to get together with Kerry and talk before we talk about the next record. He should have just said, I'm probably not going to do another record, or had that conversation with me before he mentioned anything like that. I was just assuming, oh, fuck, what's going on? What's this going to be? And it was, I'm done, not what I expected. But if you made that decision, I'm not going to try to talk you out of it because your heart's not going to be in it anyway. So he found out Tom was going to quit in the press. That's interesting. Regarding why Araya had decided to retire, King said, I think just the wear and tear of the road. I think he wanted to be home. None of us are real spotlight seekers, but he's certainly not. And when Jeff was around, he was like a hermit. He did not want fame. I tolerate fame. Somebody's got to be that guy. Kerry also confirmed that personality differences contribute to Slayer's eventual split. Me and Tom have never been on the same page, he said. Like, if I want a chocolate shake, he wants a vanilla shake. Kerry, what color is the sky? Blue. Tom, what color is the sky? White. We're just different people. The further on in years we got, it just became more. Am I going to hang out with Tom? He likes tequila a little bit, and I'm a big tequila head, so I'll have my shot with him, and we'll part ways, he continued. We're not going to hang out or anything because we are very different people, and together we made great music and a great live show. Rolling Stone asked King if his and Araya's differing political ideologies played a part in Slayer's split. In 2017, Araya used Slayer's official Instagram account to make a post about then newly elected U.S. President Donald Trump, stirring up a huge backlash from the band's fan base. I want to pause on that for just 1 second. Imagine being a Slayer fan, like, Satan, fuck everything, kill the devil, and then being like, Donald Trump is so terrible. I just can't tolerate anyone being pro Donald Trump.
Yeah, and if I'm using that logic too, if Donald Trump is Satan, you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
If he's Satan, you know.
It's just stupid.
Anyway, yeah, it is dumb. But I bet if he posted a fucking like Biden shit, no one would care. That's my analysis of that.
It's just like I think it's dumb. Like, I think a Slayer fan. It's like when we were talking about Danzig and people were like, "Oh, the merch has Nazi material on it," or whether I'm like, dude, you listen to fucking Danzig. Everything has a pentagram and a satanic. You know, he uses occult symbolism. Like, what the fuck do you expect? You know, I just like, if you're a Slayer fan, you shouldn't be that soft brained. But anyway, that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
well, you just went off on it.
I did.
Yeah.
But listen to what Kerry said. I was super pissed off at that, but not enough to fucking quit my band, King said of the incident. I was like, dude, that's what your personal social media is for. That's totally fair enough. Like, if you're in a band like System of a Down or whatever, and you have differing political beliefs, like, save it for your personal shit. Like, don't indict the whole band with it. That's fair. That's fair. But my opinion about, like, Slayer fans being upset about Donald Trump's stance, like, I think that's fucking pussy shit. Anyway, I was like, dude, that's what your personal social media is for. The band gives a shit about this idiot. You're the only one in the band that gives a shit about this idiot. And when you put it up there, we're all backing him. And I am not backing Trump. Gary's not. Paul's not. That's your opinion, not ours. I would never do that to you.
Fair enough.
Fair. Yeah. You didn't see Kerry on there going like, yeah, fucking vote for Biden.
Yeah.
So it's totally fair.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. But also, if he did do that, I don't think anyone would care.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, that's a good point. Like, you might have like one or two like angry dudes that are like, oh, fuck you. Dude.
You know what I mean, though? It's like socially acceptable a little bit.
Right. It's not like, it's not the devil. It's like, that's the irony of it too that just gets me, is it's like the satanic panic. I compare it to that all the time. It's like, in the
it's
like,
true.
Oh, this is Satan and that's Satan. So, prior
Eric,
to 20,
I think your mic is fucked up again. It's connected to your something else. It's connected to like your webcam or something. Sorry.
no, that's good. We want Eric's mic to
Yeah,
be in
before
top
Lorraine
form.
gets in here too, I want you to have yours.
Yeah, so just to remind people, Lorraine is showing up. Lorraine will be here in about a half an hour. My fault. I told her 7:30 because I'm in a different time zone. So I'll take the L. Prior to Slayer's 2024 reunion, King told Rolling Stone that he and Tom had not had any contact since the last show of Slayer's farewell tour in 2019. Not even a text, not even an email, he said. I've talked to everybody else from the band on the phone, text or email. Tom hit me up. If Tom hit me up, I'd probably respond. It probably depends on what he'd hit me up for, but I don't wish him dead at this moment.
What the fuck?
Isn't that working now?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that?
Now it's working good.
Oh, the mic. Yeah.
It is shitty though if he's like not talking to them either, and then he just posts some shit on their band page, and they're like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like,
Yeah.
So I understand completely
That
It
part
is-
of it, I don't agree with. I don't think.
Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
come on, that's the thing. You got to be like classy a little bit. Like that's kind of.
But the backlash of Slayer fans is something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm like, come on.
I don't
dude.
wish him
Come
dead
on.
at this moment.
No.
Yeah, that, I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah,
That's a very interesting way to compliment someone.
I
I
guess.
don't wish him dead at this
I guess that's
moment.
a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good way.
It's like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know. It's crazy because I mean, I would have never thought, unless they had talked about this, I never would have even known that they were like had differences of opinion or like weren't.
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't know either. I didn't
Tom is
even know
kinda-
Tom posted that. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, Tom is kind of quiet too. So it's like
Yeah, he is.
he seems like he's like Kerry seems more like the mouth, like the public face of the band
Yeah. Yeah.
than Tom does for sure. All right, so should we talk about this now?
Hell yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
take any footage, but I wanted to talk about this lineup change because dude from Bad Wolves, Doc Coyle. Well, he's originally in God Forbid. And God Forbid, I mean, they're not like my favorite band ever, but they have a couple really good albums. and
Yeah,
some
I
really
like
good
some of their
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, like their first couple records, Determination.
It's
Determination.
that
I
one
think
with like the crow on it. You know
that's
what I'm talking
I
about?
think that's the second one.
That one's pretty good.
The
I like that one.
Anti-Hero or the
Yeah, yeah.
Constitution of Treason. Now I gotta look at their
Yeah, we always do that.
discography.
I like forget the fucking
because
name
I
and then
don't
we gotta
the
look it up.
only album I really listen to a lot.
They have this
of-
song called Force Fed on that album. That's pretty fucking dope.
Gone Forever, I think is the Gone Forever is the one with the crow on it.
Okay.
And Anti-Hero, I love that song Anti-Hero on there.
Yeah.
And then even the Constitution of Treason one, I listened to some of that. It's crazy because that album, Constitution of Treason, it's from 2005. It's about George W. Bush.
Yeah.
It's like that's how,
Oh, okay.
all these bands were writing these like political screeds about Bush back then because he was
Yeah.
doing the Iraq War and shit. Anyway, he recently quit his side band Bad Wolves suddenly, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, why did he quit side? And then this came out, and I was like, oh, okay. That's why he quit. Bad
And I don't
Wolves.
know if we ever mentioned it before, but Snot has a new singer too who sounds to me a lot like Lynn Straight.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people know that by now too.
That's true.
We
But
just
we never covered it. So
we
I
haven't
thought
talked about
I'd
it on the
mention
show. Snot's one of those bands too that I love that album, but they weren't like my favorite. I really dug their drummer.
Yeah, they're not my
Yeah.
favorite either.
I don't know, that record has some pretty good jams on it though. There's a couple really good songs on it. I love how it
Yeah.
opens too. He's like, say something on the record for the people. He's like, fuck the record and fuck
Yeah.
the people. And then they start. Yeah. Anyway, Reactivated Santa Barbara-based metal punk rock hybrid Snot played its first show with guitarist Doc Coyle of God Forbid, ex Bad Wolves. So he's still in God Forbid. This past Friday night at HQ in Denver, Colorado. Fan filmed video of the concert can be seen below. We should probably watch the concert a little bit, but Coyle was recruited by Snot after the band's recent split with guitarist Sonny Mayo. Sonny Mayo, I think he played with Soulfly and like Machine Head for a while.
Okay.
Now I gotta look that up because I don't want to speak fucking out my ass.
Yeah.
But he was in a bunch of best known for playing with Snot, Amen, and Seven Dust. Okay, he was in Amen. I think was his like the first band that he kind of came up through. Oh, that's right. MF Pitbulls with Shannon Larkin. Snot. Yeah, okay. So that's Sonny Mayo. Anyway, Doc Coyle is the new, guitarist for Snot, replacing Sonny Mayo. And Coyle was recruited by Snot after the band split with him. The news of Mayo's departure was broken by Snot guitarist Mikey Doling, who stated in a video message, Sonny Mayo has decided to quit Snot. Snot doesn't fit into his life right now, and he just wants to focus on himself and his life. And Snot's just too busy for him to be able to continue. So I'd like to wish Sonny Mayo the best of luck in his future, and I want to thank him for all he's contributed to Snot over the years. We love you, brother. Mikey continued. So it seems like it's on good terms.
Yeah.
That being said, our very good friend from God Forbid, formerly Bad Wolves, Doc Coyle, is going to be filling in on guitar for the upcoming shows. And we're excited to have him on board. And thank you very much, Doc Coyle. I can imagine like someone like Doc Coyle, he's got like God Forbid's a pretty well-established band, but they're not touring, but also they're like probably don't make a shit ton of money. So he's like, he can do fucking get a gig like Bad Wolves. And like, actually it's like a working gig as a guitar player, you know?
Yeah.
So something like this comes along and he's like, yo, I can play with Snot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you blame him?
Agreed.
Let's watch some of the footage because I don't want to just read the article now. Now I want to see some of the footage. Yeah. I didn't even watch the footage, but I wish I would have. Oh no, this doesn't even have the footage. God damn it.
Yeah, I might have to see them on this new tour they're doing. I mean, they're in Europe right now, but
are they playing in LA? I mean, I imagine they are.
It says they just played. It looks like I guess not just, but Snot's first gig with Andy Knapp, their new singer, took place on January 17th.
That's his name.
At the House of Blues in Anaheim.
Okay. Well, I dug up some footage of Andy Knapp, so let's watch it for a minute.
Nice.
It's got they got fuck the record
Yeah.
on their backdrop.
You know why we do this? It's just always for the late, great, then straight. One time, make some fucking noise. Let it hear you. Tonight, let's get a little crazy. Let's have a lot of fun. But right now, let's just get a little stupid. Everybody dance.
There's Doc. You know what? I shouldn't have talked shit. I forget. Snot has some jams. I forgot how fucking dope these guys were.
Yeah, they do.
I always liked his voice too. Like
he's
got a hard ass voice. The fucking
and it's unique too. It's not like he doesn't sound like anyone else.
Yeah.
This guy sounds just like him too.
That's what I was saying. He sounds exactly like him. They found like the perfect dude. And they said when they were rehearsing with him that he knew all the like it's kind of like Dino and the dude that was rehearsing for Fear Factory. He was a fan, so he just knew all the songs. Like he didn't even have to look at the lyrics.
They didn't even have to teach him.
He didn't have to learn it. Yeah.
Let's listen to a little bit more of this.
I like the guys all for filming.
What's that?
All the guys filming.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their cameras out.
Yeah, everybody's got their cameras out. Like
how it is at every goddamn show. That's why that ghost story we covered was good, where they're like locking people's phones up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Last week we were talking about Ghost, and they did some shows in LA where they didn't allow people to bring their phones in.
Yeah.
And so now they're like doing it on a lot of their I don't know if they're doing it on all of them, but it seemed like it. But yeah, that's I don't know.
I feel like those kind of experiences, concerts, especially for you guys, like a lot of the concerts you guys went to, there was no fucking cameras. Like it's a memory.
No.
All you have is the memory, but that's honestly the best.
You know what's funny is I went to see Ozzy in Oakland with Alice in Chains and Blind Melon, and I have it all up here, but then I found a video of it online, and I'm like, are you shitting me? That exact concert is online.
Oh, you can find anything. I love YouTube for that. There's bootleg. Sometimes I'll just sit and watch live shows all day. Like I
was gonna say that's always my thought process too at a show is like someone's recording, 700 other people are recording, so someone's gonna post it. Like I'll get a quick video here and there, but I don't want to be the dude recording the whole concert or whatever.
Yeah, you made me think of like a Pantera show I went to where the whole floor was a mosh pit. Like
no one's got their you have your phone out, you're losing it. Like no one's got their phone out.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, listening to that Snot live footage, man, it just not to harp on the tracks thing too much, but like there's something beautiful about like just a bar band like that that's like fucking imperfect and like grooving, without the fucking computer shit going on.
Yeah, I love it.
There's a lot of great bands that do a lot of great shit with fucking tracks and shit. I'm not hating on that, but I do like that aspect of it. Like I respect a band. That's what we were making fun of Corey Feldman a couple weeks ago, or Joey had this clip of Corey Feldman. I was like, hey, they're playing live. I don't hear any tracks going, so I'll give him that.
Yeah,
they might not be very good, but at least they're playing.
At least they're not hiding behind a fucking track of them playing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Back to Snot. Snot's first gig with Knapp took place on January 17th at the Parish Room in the House of Blues of Anaheim, California. Performance is also live streamed via the band's Instagram. Snot played a second show with Knapp, who sings for fellow Southern California band Stronger Than Machines. Okay. On January 18th at Brick by Brick in San Diego. Brick by Brick is very fucking scene. It's been around for a long time. A lot of good bands come out of there. I think did you watch that interview? That's if I had more time to prep, that's one of the things I would have brought is Stone Temple Pilots and Billy Corgan interview.
I saw some of it. I saw Billy.
You just saw it. You sent me that clip of him saying that Weiland stole Plush from him.
Yeah, he was like, they were both kind of like, all right, like.
The interview itself is really good though, because there's a bunch of points where like Billy Corgan tells these stories about how he when and you get a sense of that from the clip you sent me, but when Stone Temple Pilots came out, he was like their second wave alternative.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm first wave. Like we were doing alternative before it was cool. Yeah, that's kind of the attitude he had. But he's in this interview with Robert and Dean DeLeo from Stone Temple Pilots. He says that he like apologizes to them And he's like, he even said there was a point when I saw you guys at a hotel or a restaurant somewhere, and I had just heard your third album, the Tiny Music Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop, and he's like, and I loved it, and I was like, wow, these guys are amazing. And so he's like, I came and was like, you guys won me over, with that shit.
Yeah.
But like, anyway,
some of those Billy Corgan interviews are interesting because they're great interviews, but he seems a little like pompous or like,
yeah, he has that
a
for
little
sure.
like,
well, if you watch this interview too, both the DeLeo brothers they're kind of like, they're not like Billy's like he's a bull, you know what I mean? And they're like kind of like quiet, like and reserved type dudes. And so like if you watch the interview, like Billy Corgan totally takes over the interview. It's he's just like he makes a lot of it about him.
Yeah, it's funny seeing that because homie always comes into the deli, Dean DeLeo. I've seen him a couple times. Like he's always up in there.
Yeah, but man, I was listening to Stone Temple Pilots today, Purple, that song Silver Gun Superman, and just man, those records are so good, man. They're like those are classic rock albums to me.
Yeah.
Those Stone Temple Pilots records. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of classic rock, Eric.
Yes.
Have you heard the song that Sammy Hagar just put out?
Yes, with
Joe
Dave,
Satriani.
No, I have not.
Dude, I watched it this morning, and it's one of those things where it came up. We got to talk about this. This is something we can probably talk about with Lorraine too when she comes on. By the way, guys, Lorraine will be here in about 20 minutes. Sorry that I misscheduled her. It's totally my fault. But so, dude, this song. So apparently, Sammy Hagar had a dream about Eddie Van Halen, and the video for the song came up on my YouTube, and I was like, before I went to work this morning, I was just like, what the fuck? I'll see if this is any good.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was like really impressed with it. And I don't say that lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds almost like a classic Van Halen song, like from Dave era, but with Sammy singing. And Joe Satriani plays guitar on it, and they got Michael Anthony on the bass. I'm not sure who the drummer is. It's probably whoever Sammy.
Oh, interesting.
The dude, but dude, the song itself is fucking great, and it's all about like he's like it's called like Thank You Encore or something like that. But at the end of it, he's like, thank you, Eddie, for everything and stuff, and the sentiment, but the actual musicality of the song is what really I popped on, because it's got like a kind of a standard rock groove when it starts, and then it starts with Satriani doing this tapping shit, like Van Halen tapping shit, and then they go into like this kind of like standard like groove, and then like halfway through the song, it like takes off into like this totally different fucking groove that's like faster.
That's cool.
Oh, I was like, I turned it on expecting to be like, oh, it's just more fucking retread shit, but it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really good. So props to Sammy Hagar. And I've always dug Sammy's voice too.
So have I. Sammy Hagar. I mean, the thing is Sammy Hagar had it in Van Halen, but he had it on his own too. So, I mean, he didn't have...
I can drive.
Yeah.
55.
I mean, there's so many songs by Sammy Hagar that are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they played with Montrose and all those guys, that's badass.
One of my absolute favorite things in rock right now is the friendship between Sammy Hagar and Maynard James Keenan of Tool. Have you seen... Really? Dude... Maynard has a winery, and they did a whole thing. If you haven't seen this, you have to watch it. I love it's Maynard with Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar, and he's like showing them around. I think it was on the Food Channel or like AXS. It was on like some network TV show, but like they're buds now. And for a minute, I thought like Maynard was in the video, but it's the drummer kind of looks like Maynard. He's like got the
he does,
and the glasses and shit. But yeah, the song was great, and I highly recommend people check it out because I was really impressed with it. But so we got Lorraine coming on in just a minute. She should be here at 7:30 PST.
So I was going to get my photos on, but for some reason it won't let me upload photos that are HEC or whatever.
Oh, no. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the other thing you can do is you can drag them into a browser, like a lot of times what I'll do with before they had the image thing. Like, what browser are you using?
Just the whatever it is on
Safari, probably.
Google Chrome. Yeah.
Oh, Google Chrome. Okay.
StreamYard
So, like,
doesn't run on Safari, so
that's right. If you just take and, like, you know, the tabs at the top of the browser, if you drag your photos, they will show in the browser as a tab, and then you can do present, share screen, and show your tabs. Show your photos.
Let me try.
Because, dude, that's the thing. It's like you guys take, and because I've had the same problem with Colette sending me stuff. You guys take like high res videos, and these are designed like, because it streams. There's a certain. It has to be like compressed to a certain point, or it can't load it. Sorry, I'm like doing an IT session here.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's what we all need, right?
Yeah. But
good knowledge.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's just the way the internet works. It's like you gotta.
So how do I do it again?
So, like, you can literally, if the photos are on your desktop, like, pull your browser to the side a little bit and just drag and drop the photo into the top of your browser where the plus symbol is.
Oh, okay.
And it'll pop up as a tab, and then go to present and share screen and choose the tab.
All right.
StreamYard's been trying to get us to upgrade to their their business version, because then they have a green room where you can like actually meet with people before you bring them into the live stream.
Oh, really?
Which we're going to need eventually, but
yeah.
I want to start doing, now that I have a set schedule with my job, I want to start doing interviews heavy again.
Yeah, so do I.
And just like, but so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I can do interviews.
Yeah, I'm usually
sorry,
off
Thursday, Friday,
Saturdays.
Saturday, not Sunday.
I gotta get into interviewing some bands like Vein FM or fucking Knocked Loose, or we gotta get some of those hardcore bands up in here.
I like the diversity of music that we have on this channel.
Totally.
We go from like Joey's into like Shinedown, bands like Shinedown or like Buck Cherry that are more kind of like straightforward rock, to like bands like Disturbed or like new metal bands like Limp Bizkit and Korn. And then, we obviously we like the like real abrasive stuff like VOD, Pantera, Black Dahlia.
Yeah, we cover everything, I feel like.
Yeah, but then also like classic rock, like the 80s and the 90s classic rock. Like I love that we're like Lorraine Lewis, who's going to be on in a minute. Like, she's a part of fucking 80s metal history.
Oh yeah,
it's an honor to talk to people like that. Like getting to talk to people like Kenny from Typo Negative, or even I got to chat with the dude from Bleeding Through the other day, and Black Dahlia Murder. We
talked to Ryan.
We're very blessed.
Talked to Within the Ruins.
Yeah. But also like we've even had like some like Tim Montana, who's a little more kind of like country rock, and then that dude what was that guy's name? Oliver. He's kind of like a folk singer. So yeah, I like it. I if it's good, it's good, man. I want to talk to musicians, but did you figure it out, Eric?
No, so I'm just sending them to you.
Okay. How are you sending them to me? On text?
Text.
Okay.
Text.
Cool. Well, if you pop up in my, so like because I'm on a Mac, so I have like my iChat, and if it comes through my iChat, I can just drag it right off my phone. Colette. Okay, it looks like it's coming through. Colette texted and said she's not going to make it. So.
Oh, she's not.
We'll handle it from here.
Yeah. So now they got delivered to you.
Okay, let's see if I can get them. I might have to send them to myself again because they didn't come through my iChat.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we get some more music this year from bands that I like a lot, so we can do some interviews.
So there's
that are like lower, like the newer school metal guys that are coming out right now.
Yeah. Well, I also want to do more. I like doing those deep dives. Like one of the videos that we have that's doing really well on our YouTube right now is the Fishbone one that I did. That's kind of like a deep dive into the band Fishbone, but I want to do that for so many other bands. And then I made a list. So there's a couple bands. Cryptopsy has a new record coming out. Like I would love to talk to them. Like some of these like real extreme death metal bands. I had something scheduled with Suffocation, but it never came through. And I could have interviewed them at the venue when I went to see them live. But that's another thing. I want to talk to a lot more like death bands, and, like, death metal bands and deathcore bands and stuff. Here, let me see if I can send this to myself again. But in the meantime, what I wanted to talk about too was Acid Bath. They have been reunited and playing some shows, and it's really only 3 guys from this photo. It's really only Sammy, Dax, and I forget the guy on the far left who's the rhythm guitar player, because Audie, the bass player, passed away. They have like their own Cliff Burton story.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was thinking about that the other day. Isn't it fucked up how it's always the bass player that dies? Like same thing with Deftones.
Deftones bass. I was about to say Deftones bass player.
Yeah, Deftones. Acid Bath's bass player died. Like
there's probably a couple
Metallica,
other bands.
Cliff Burton. It's like the curse of Cliff Burton or something.
Yeah.
So Lorraine should be joining us in about 10 minutes. But in the interim, let's keep talking about the latest, greatest metal stories. So Acid Bath here. How would you describe Acid Bath, Dryden? As grindcore?
Yeah. I would say, like, if you're gonna be genre specific, to me it's like sludge metal or whatever. Like it's kind of like slow, groovy, doomy. Yeah, but it's also got those like wah pedal, I don't know how to explain it, like rock and roll-esque riffs.
Yeah. There's a couple things, and this is a video that's going to be done eventually, but like I think Acid Bath has like they have a blend of so much stuff, so many elements. So like the thing that made them extreme, I think, is their lyrics.
Yeah.
Like if you read the lyrics, he had like "Smoke the Bones of Baby Dolls." Like there's a song, like just to give you an example, what's that song where he goes, "Go, go, go, blood makes the grass grow. I blew a load of Jesus into Mary's hole."
That's funny. Yeah, or that song where he's like, "I'm here to fuck the open wound" or some shit.
Yeah. So
that's totally Slipknot. Heard that
yeah,
shit.
I was like, Corey might have borrowed that a little bit, but it's still I love different. Yeah, he took it to his own level. That line where he says, "I want to slit your throat and blank the wound. I want to get our stream cut off." I don't think YouTube's pretty, unless you're like talking about political shit, they're pretty lenient, but unless you start talking about the efficacy or of vaccines. Which we won't talk about. We're not talking about that. YouTube, don't censor us. Anyway,
they're safe and effective.
Yeah, safe and effective. May not stop contraction, but will stop hospitalization. Okay, so this is some video. Actually, I'm glad that you said what you said, Dryden, because Doom. This channel is called like All the Doom or something.
Yeah, like it would be doom metal, but like they are not just doom metal.
Yeah, I was gonna say too before we watch some of this. The thing that's so cool about them too is they also blend elements of like beat poetry and like horror and stuff. Like they have that one song where he's like, "Rape the mother, kill the father," and it's like a tribal beat with all these like creepy noises and stuff. And so they had like they kind of had that like voodoo tie-in thing, you know.
Their imagery too, like the serial killer album covers and shit,
right,
all that.
So this is the opening of their reunion show. Listen. Christian propaganda.
Do you remember the first sunrise? Sharpened bone, first titan fist. Urge to kill the sky. I can smell the force. Barefoot I rumble in chaos. The assassins of freedom.
See all those phones?
Put your
we were talking about that earlier.
He's like recording other phones' POVs at this point.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You know that riff. That's a tranquilizer. Man, Dax's voice, Dax sounds great.
Yeah, and I've said this before too. I love that bands like this are making a comeback or doing reunion shows like this, because a band like Acid Bath or Dillinger or whatever, even Metallica, they have more fans than they've ever had at this point in their career because of the internet and Spotify, like, and parents and all that shit. Like, these shows will be packed in the US and the
It's such a cool dynamic right now, because you see that, especially in metal, you see that at every show. There's like such a wide age demographic split, you know, or like a wide range of age groups. You have like the old heads, and then like remember when you and I went to see Obituary? It was Prong Black Label Society and Obituary, Eric, at the complex. Yeah. And I was tripping because all these fucking like high school kids ran out on the floor for Obituary.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, wow, like Obituary has a new,
and there's all these little sub trends going on, like on TikTok and fucking, you know.
But it's so cool that bands like Acid Bath have enough nostalgia and interest in them that they're doing sold out shows all over the country right now. Yeah. We'll watch a little bit more of this. So Sammy Due, the main guitarist, on the right, like, watch when they pan over him. Not the guy with the V, but
the other guy.
Yeah, Sammy on the right. So he's in a band called Go. But look at this picture. Like, that's Sammy on the right.
Yeah, he's so different looking now.
Back in the original Acid Bath. That's just how much older they are.
Yeah. That's such a good song to open with, too. Everyone knows that song.
I mean, everyone at that show, I bet, knows all the songs.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if you know Acid Bath, you know that song for sure.
Man, they sound great. They
yeah, I gotta fucking see that shit. God
reunion
damn.
that's delivering. Yeah, I'm pumped about that.
Gotta see that. Because I don't know if they'll ever play again after that. Who knows? Maybe they will.
Do another tour.
Maybe they will, but
who knows? It's crazy because Dax kind of broke off and did his own thing for a while and like went more mellow. He did this interview where he was talking about how he doesn't think that like there's any like challenging or like there's any new ground being broken in metal anymore.
Yeah, I could like kind of agree with that to some degree.
Yeah, it's kind of been in a lull. I mean, I shouldn't say that. It hasn't been in a lull, but it's like there hasn't been like any like ground.
There's not been a Pantera or a Lamb of God to me recently. Like maybe Knocked Loose, but even then, you know, I feel like there still hasn't been a band that's like everybody's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I feel like every era, if you go all the way back to like Sabbath and Zeppelin era, and then after that you have like Van Halen and like who else would you put in Van Halen's league from that era, right, Eric? You're
I was gonna say Priest, but
Priest, of course,
Yeah.
of course. But Priest, I would put back in the fucking
yeah,
Sabbath, Zeppelin, because they predate that. But like so then in the 80s, you had Van Halen, Metallica, of course, on the underground, and the
Guns
thrash,
N' Roses and shit.
Guns
like
N'
that,
Roses.
yeah.
That's a great. And then in the 90s, for metal anyway, it was. I mean, Pantera kind of dominated the 90s.
Nirvana.
Soundgarden. I was gonna say Soundgarden. Alice in
All the
Chains.
grunge bands, of course, like Nirvana and Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam probably doesn't even consider themselves metal, but they definitely they have some like heavier. It's hard rock. Like some of their earlier shit is definitely heavy as fuck. But for that era, anyway, like every 90s, 2000s, maybe you could say like Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not like the hugest Linkin Park fan, but actually 90s too, Korn. I forgot about Korn. Like Korn was a game changer, obviously. Like
they were
in the 90s, the new metal thing. Pantera was kind of, it's interesting though too, because it's like if you look at the 80s, right? You have in metal anyway, you have Van Halen, who's kind of like more the mainstream band, and then you have Metallica, who's kind of like the underground band of that era. And the same thing like in the 90s, it's like Korn was kind of the metal band that broke through to the mainstream through the new. Lorraine's here. Let's bring her on.
Hey guys.
Lorraine,
hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. So you have your names on your box.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Great. So Dustin, Dryden, and Eric, pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I screwed up actually. And this will be a good segue into our first question for you, but I'm in Albuquerque. So I told your publicist 7:30 thinking, and I was totally spaced. I was like, no, it's 6:30. So we were originally going to start the show by interviewing you. And then because I fucked up, we went, okay, we'll just do our news shit. And then we'll interview Lorraine when she comes on. So
nice save. Great save.
Yeah. But then I read also that are you originally from Albuquerque?
I'm originally from Albuquerque. That's where I cut my teeth. That's where I saw David Lee Roth for the first time in concert with Van Halen and wanted to be David Lee Roth. Yeah, that's where it all began. I was playing the bar scene, and that's where I cut my teeth. I was doing, three 45-minute sets a night for years in the club scene back home. Yeah,
that's such a crazy coincidence.
It is.
Yeah, I lived in LA for 25 years, and I just moved out here last year. Basically, I have some family out here, and I live in downtown Albuquerque, basically. So
I know it well.
Just off Central.
That's wild. So you did that because your family's there. Because as much as I love Albuquerque, I can't really imagine myself living back there again. I definitely miss LA a lot. Yeah, it's a culture shock. You lived out in LA how long?
25 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, Hollywood's the boyfriend I can never quit. And I always say that. It's a mess. It's dirty. It's filthy. It's all the things, but it's still my boyfriend.
I love it.
I mean, I couldn't wait to leave Albuquerque.
That's a good way to put it. It's
the truth. That's really how I feel. And I still get, tingly and goosebumps when I'm driving over Mulholland and see all the diamond field of lights. I mean, there's nothing like it. And for me, especially wanting to leave Albuquerque and, hit the big time in Hollywood, you never get over that feeling if you've experienced it. I've talked with several people that know exactly what I'm talking about. And I still feel it 35 years later. So
yeah, there's something magic about LA. There just is. There's something in the air there. I lived in Agora Hills too, so I went from Agora Hills to downtown. I love Albuquerque too. It's a fantastic city, and it's got like a kind of a grit to it that I haven't that LA doesn't have.
Very much so. Yes.
But
yes, I haven't been back in years. I was back there a couple of years ago because I went to see a band called Whiskey Myers. I don't know if you've heard of them, but I've been a big fan of theirs. And so Tony Kent, the percussionist, keyboard player, had been messaging me on Instagram. And actually, when I was in Vixen, the plan was Whiskey Myers was going to be there one night and we were supposed to be there the next night. And so that's when we were like planning to meet and all that stuff. And then our show got canceled for some reason, but I know that I'm going to be back. Femme Fatale is definitely going to be back home at some point. So there's lots going on.
That's cool.
Well, I'll definitely come see you guys if you come through here.
Yeah.
If I'm here. But
that'd be so cool.
We want to ask you, we wanted to interview you and talk to you about kind of like your trajectory and so let's start there. Talk about kind of how you started out with Femme Fatale and like, and tell us, I guess, as much of that story as you want, because, you guys, you're a part of rock history.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I just know I was singing in a band called West Wind. That's the very, very beginning. I was like 17 years old. I was doing like Linda Ronstadt and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and kind of the top 40 hits, but I wore all black and a black cowboy hat. Like that's New Mexico, right? So
Yeah,
I was raised on Lynyrd Skynyrd and all of that stuff. And then literally I went and saw Van Halen when they came through with the first album, and I stood on my chair the whole night. And I just was like mesmerized by David Lee Roth. I mean, of course, the whole band, but being a singer and a front person, I was like, that's who I am. That's who I want to be. And all my friends were like wanting to, go to, I think that they were staying at the Hilton downtown Albuquerque. And, my friends all wanted to like go to the hotel and try to like hook up with them. And I was like, I didn't want to do that. Like, I just wanted to be that guy. I didn't want to date them. I just wanted to do what he did. And, but roll it back just a tiny bit. I was in a popular local band called Babe Ruthless. And that is what we were.
That's a great name.
We were really popular. The club scene, Senior Bucket, Birds of Paradise. We played all of them. Smuggler's Cove. There would be lines around the door, onto the sidewalk, like Mondays and Tuesday nights. We were super hella popular. And it's funny because now years later, like I somewhat realize why we were. I mean, we were definitely a good band and we played all the hits and all that stuff, but I was kind of doing like social media back then. Like I've always wanted to be belly to belly with the people. Like I never forget, like, the best thing in the world and best feeling is a sold out show and to have a packed house. But that doesn't happen just by, showing up, like I always wanted to connect with the people. And I was basically, when I look back at it, I was doing social media not exactly content creating, but sort of. Like I had a Polaroid camera and I would take Polaroids. I mean, I have Polaroids from when Femme was on the road as well. And all of this stuff is just kind of natural. I just really appreciate the people. I know it takes a lot for people to leave their home any night of the week. So
especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays.
I really appreciate it when people show up and I don't take it for granted. And I think that maybe sometimes people think like, that I do take it for granted or she's all this or think she's all that. But no, I'm just really just me. And I've pretty much been the same for years. I just, I just voice my opinion a little bit more now that I'm older probably. But I'm just kind of the same girl that I was in Albuquerque. I'm doing the same thing, trying to get a crowd on my side and get them to throw their fists in the air. So it's nothing's really changed all that much. I'm still wanting a full house, packed house, and people screaming their asses off. So
nice.
You don't have to say anything you don't want to here, but I'm curious too about your experience with Vixen. Like how did that happen? If you want to talk about why you ended up leaving too, that's fine. But
yeah, well, let's start with that. I didn't leave. I was fired. And
Okay.
so,
Wow.
that's the truth of it. And I think when it all went down, I was really in shock, because I had been in the band for over 5 years, and I know that I did my job, and I really believe I elevated the band, and people can say, oh, she thinks she's all that just by that coming out of my mouth. But I really believe that. I mean, I think that I brought a new life to the band. I come from the school of David Lee Roth. So I'm in your face, and I stick out my tongue a lot when I'm on stage, because it's like an exclamation mark when you're up there, and it feels so damn good. And and I just had the time of my life. I mean, I definitely miss the girls, but at the same time, I think that everything really does happen for a reason, and I know that my path is my own and my own adventure to fulfill. And so I am happy with the time that I had with them. We did some amazing tours, amazing shows. It was never going to be my band. I knew it was not my band, but I really gave it my all. And I think that we had a hell of a time, and again, elevated the brand for sure, and really did everything I could to be that front person that I thought they wanted, So I still to this day do not know a reason. I was never given a reason. We were two weeks out of the summer tour, and I had new outfits and everything.
Wow.
So they didn't even tell you why they fired you?
No, I asked why, but I was told that the reasons don't matter. And so that's really the truth.
Interesting.
That's really the truth, and it's, I'm just going to say it. It's Roxy that runs the band. It's her band.
Sure.
And I've known Roxy for a very long time. I've known her for 30 years. We had a band together called Rocktopus. I actually wanted to call it Rocktopusy, but she didn't want to do that. So, I mean, if you think about that, I mean, because that's when Nashville Pussy was out, right?
Yeah. Pussy Riot.
Yeah. And I'm not afraid of the word.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the word at all. And so I really thought that was a great name, Rocktopusy. Like, that's cute. It's all hell. And
like the James Bond movie. Octopussy.
Totally. So she didn't want to do that. And so I think, if I really think about that, I think maybe I've just always been a little bit too much for her, because I just go for it. And I don't, no, I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm just here to have fun and live life to the fullest and just express myself. And rock and roll is rock and roll. Like, you can't tame rock and roll. So I don't want to be tamed in any way.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's what went down. And I spoke about this on Troy Patrick Farrell's podcast when it happened. About it took me a couple of weeks to even talk about it. But it's been almost a year. It'll be a year in May. And I had just been in the studio recording with Lou Gramm. And then 2 days later, I got this phone call from the manager, and it was like, whoa, what the hell just happened? It was a wild ride. And I will admit, the first, I don't know if you guys have ever been married before, but
yeah.
I've been married a bunch.
You're braver than I am.
I believe in love. I mean, I'm a romantic. I believe in love. I just didn't always choose well, and I get caught up in all this stuff, and then I but anyway, that's a whole nother podcast.
A lot of people can relate to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, but so basically, though, I will admit, the first few weeks, I would wake up in the morning and it was like I was in a dream. Like, it's like almost I couldn't get my footing, like even just walking, like getting out of bed and walking. It was just this whirlwind of like, did that really happen? Like, am I not in the band anymore? Like, it really took a while to sink in, and it was really challenging emotionally just to, to handle it. But at the same time, I'm a believer in fate and the universe, and all good things are happening to me. And if I really believe that stuff I'm feeding myself or other people, like I have to really believe it, right? Like if I say I know that things are always working out for me, then I know that part of the process is sometimes things fall away, and that's part of the universe pushing you to your path. And so, I got my head around that. Interestingly enough, my two sisters had already planned a trip to come see me. Like they were coming a couple of days later. And so the timing, again, when the universe, it was like we had planned that like 3 or 4 months ahead of time. And when they came out, it was just such an embrace of love, like people that really get me and know me. And it was huge to have them here with me in Palm Springs. And we drank champagne every minute of the day. We were eating caviar, and because that's how my sisters roll. We're all a little bougie, even though we come from Albuquerque. We're all a little bougie, and so we just
Albuquerque has some bougie parts for sure.
Oh, for sure, Snob Hill.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was really great that they were with me, and I'll be honest. I mean, every once in a while we would just all look at each other and just be like, what the fuck? And then we'd be like, fuck those guys, and then pour some more champagne. And I mean, that was just our way of just being sisters and laughing about it all, and, but little by little, here we are a year later, and I can't even tell you how many amazing things are at my fingertips right now. And I think that you're probably going to want to have me back on in a couple of weeks, because I have some really big announcements coming that I wish I could drop today, but I know. I'm like, but there's some really amazing things that are happening. I'm actually writing a book as well. And a lot of that has to do with OnlyFans. And being the age that I am, and just owning my life and owning my fun and owning my power, and just stepping into that arena and not being afraid to step into that arena because people want to say whatever they want to say about me.
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
During that whole thing, I heard you say Lou Graham, and I was like, wait, what are you going to tell us about Lou Graham?
Oh, well, yeah. So it was crazy. I do these live Q&As on Instagram every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. And I answer live, or people write in questions, and people very often want to know who I would want to sing with. And who I would want to perform with, and this and that. And so I always would say, number 1 is Lou Graham, 2 is Paul Rogers from Bad Company, and number 3 is
Queen,
David Lee
too.
Roth.
I was going to say, what about David Lee Roth? But
Well, yeah, Dave, and I love David. He's in 3rd spot.
Yeah.
I actually just recently reached out to him. He still hasn't responded, but we'll see what happens. So just by fate, his people started contacting me, and they wanted to know what song I would want to do with Lou, and et cetera, et cetera. And so then they wanted my phone number and said, can Lou call you on Friday at 1 p.m.? And I said,
well, that's cool.
Sure. But I mean, I kind of thought, this is nonsense. Is this really real? But whatever. Yeah. But my phone rang at 1 p.m. on Friday, and it was Lou Graham. And I just was like, hi, Mr. Graham. It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you. And he said, call me Lou. And so we started having.
Well, hold on. Before you go to tell people who Lou Graham is, because I know a lot of people don't know.
Oh my God, Lou Graham is the voice and the magical voice and badass of the original Foreigner, Hot Blooded.
Yeah,
so many hit songs.
So many hit songs. I want to know what love is. I mean, so many. Jukebox.
Yeah, I was totally thinking about it.
The list is long and long and longer, and he's an incredible singer, and I've been a fan forever. Actually, back in the day, I performed with the Party Ninjas. I don't know if you know who that group is. It's the Party Ninjas used to, they would do these events at the Santa Monica Civic, and it was run by RJ, and Vince Neil was involved. And, you know, it was a whole group of rock stars and rock people that would put these things together to raise awareness or raise money for certain causes. And this particular night, it was for Find the Children, you know, when you would have the cartons, the milk cartons, so we had this event, and Vince invited me and put me on the bill. And I actually performed Hot Blooded with Mark Ferrari, the singer from Black and Blue. I want to say Autograph was on stage with me. I mean, it was an amazing band. And I sang that song. I've got a clip I posted every once in a while on my Instagram. But so, you know, 30 plus years later to be talking with Lou.
Yeah, that's cool.
About recording something together was wacko. You know?
Well, it's just funny to me that you're just like, throw that name out there like there's no big deal. And I'm like, wait, I got something to say about that.
Yeah, it's been a really amazing ride. So we started talking every Wednesday at like 1:00 in the afternoon. We would have a regular call and to figure out what songs we were going to do. The plan is to do 3. That's the plan. But we recorded Heroes by David Bowie.
Oh, nice.
I fucking love that song. And so we recorded that. But I will tell you, there's been a change of things. So I'm going to drop this news now. So Lou called me a couple of weeks ago because the plan was he was going to release his album this summer. Now, and I've heard it, by the way, and it's so good. It is so good. So now, though, they're not releasing it until fall. And so he said that he was originally thinking we would release Heroes this summer, but that's changed. So he wants me to come back and do some more recording of some other songs. So right now that song is kind of on hold for getting released.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, I can't drop any names, but I will tell you that the track was, you know, the music is being recorded. I mean, my vocals with Lou are done, but those together are not going to be heard, as far as I know. But the song is being recorded now. Gilby Clarke, we were just in Gilby Clarke's studio, Sean McNabb, Jason Sutter on drums.
Mm-hmm.
And that song is going to get released as a duet.
Oh, cool.
But you'll have to stay tuned to find out who I'm recording it with. It's badass.
Awesome.
So when you look at all of these things, you know, again, great being in the other band, fantastic ride. They were amazing. But I'm supposed to do me, I realize. And I am back doing me. Femme Fatale is back. I've got stuff going on with music with Femme Fatale.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that people are going to be just like, huh? Like, what? How'd that happen?
Yeah.
And how it happens is that I just keep going. Like this whole age thing, I don't even know what that is. Like I'm just me, and age doesn't come up for me unless somebody else brings it up. In my world and in my zone, I don't talk about ages and people's age. None of my friends, we just don't talk about that stuff. We talk about where are we going to go have a martini, and we talk about cute guys that are like in their 20s, and we're going to still be dancing on tables, and that's and when I'm 120, I'm going to be in the old folks home or something, and I'm going to be telling all my amazing stories. So, for me, I really choose to live my life like it's a book or a movie, honestly. Like I don't watch the news ever. I don't get hung up on all that stuff. I just live my life. Well, you can't do anything about it really anyway. I mean, kind of, you can be an activist, but I don't know. I just choose to just do my thing and be happy and be goofy and make myself laugh. And, I'm a complete dork and I just like to have fun. And I hope that the way that I live helps anybody if they're kind of like feeling like, oh, fuck, I'm 40 and it's over, because it's not over. It's not over unless maybe you cut your hair. Women that cut their hair, I'm telling you, just keep your hair long. Like, don't cut your hair.
I love that. That's great advice.
When you start giving up is what I feel. Like, the hot babe in high school with the long hair, stay that girl.
Yeah, there are like Instagram. I don't want to get too far into my Instagram algorithm, but there are like beautiful women with like long gray hair.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, but
waving that flag. They're
but
hot.
women, like, you're right though. It's a good observation. It's like when they get to a certain age, they do like the old lady cut. Like they cut it down. It's like, why do you don't have to do that.
What? You don't have to do it. You just don't have to do it. And I don't want to get any shit for it by saying it either. But, I just feel that it's true. It's sort of like, I saw my mom kind of do it, it's like, she just kind of gave up and they do that perm thing. And, and I just, no offense, but it's like, if you can just keep yourself active and feeling as good as you can and, take that collagen in the morning and take those vitamins and just, I don't know, throw up your middle finger. Like, I'm just going to keep on living. Like, I don't know. That's just really how I see it. Fuck it.
So you brought up David Lee Roth, and it's funny because as a kid, he was my hero, like instantly on MTV, but he always had like a sex appeal thing too. Like, it was a big part of it. Like, we just did a reel a while back where we were talking about when Van Halen opened for Black Sabbath, and they kind of like blew him off the stage, and like David Lee Roth came out and like did the splits in his chaps or whatever the hell he's wearing. And so it's kind of cool to know that that's like your core influence, and you kind of radiate that same kind of vibe yourself,
Oh, he is the ultimate showman. An incredible performer, just goes for it. And an athlete. To do those splits and all that stuff. Like, people can say whatever they want to say about David Lee Roth and, oh, he didn't know the lyrics or whatever, but like, just stop. Like, amazing front person, amazing athlete, just knew how to get the crowd in the palm of his hand. For me, when I saw him come out, and I've said this before, it's like he walks crotch first.
Yeah, that's true.
When he comes out, it's like he's just all here. Awesome. And I love that about him. And I kind of do the same thing. It's like crotch first. I'm like out there. It's like, it's just power and fun. And like, here I am.
That's rock and roll. It's so funny. We talked about this a while ago, but the term rock and roll itself is a euphemism for sex.
Yes, it is.
That's where it came from.
100%. So, and I love all kinds of music, but if you're going to rock and roll, like, let's really rock and roll. Like, let's really get dirty and down in it. When we played Wacken Festival, Germany last summer, I crowd surfed 60,000 people and had the time of my life, and it made the front page of the German newspaper and all the stuff. And people were asking me, they're like, did people like fill you up? Like, did guys put their hands up your crotch? And I was like, first of all, no, actually they didn't, damn it. But no, they didn't. But it's like, and if they would, like, so what? Like it's rock and roll. Like, I just don't, the prudishness of rock and roll right now with some people kind of like blows my mind. And I don't believe in hurting children or exploiting children or older people or people that, are impaired somehow. Absolutely. But rock and roll is rock and roll. Let's not like pretend that we're nuns and preachers and
Yes.
Please. Like,
yes.
It's just, Yeah. So
we were before you came on, we had a story about Slayer, and there was a whole thing where not to go into politics, the politics thing aside, but like people were upset that like one of the members posted something that was pro-Trump on their Slayer's feed or something. I'm like, yo, that's Slayer. Like Slayer fans are upset about Trump. Like, holy shit! Like it's Slayer.
Yeah.
Yes, Slayer. What does the world come to if Slayer fans are freaked out?
Yeah, it's like what is wrong with you people? Like, okay, what if you don't? You can. You're free to not like Trump or whatever, but like you're gonna like freak out because the guy from Slayer posted like it's fucking Slayer. Like they upside down crosses and pentagrams. Like
I don't get it. Yeah, I just think rock and roll, like let's just keep it alive as long as we can. And for me, you know, I mean, it's kind of sleazy and dirty and fun and entertainment, you know, like it's just fun. Can we just have fun?
I like that. Well,
so I have a question for you before you continue.
Huh?
What song would you choose with David Lee Roth, and what song would you choose with Lou Gramm to sing?
That's a great question. Well, Lou and I did record Heroes.
Yeah. Okay.
But, you know, I actually would love to do one of the Foreigner songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that would be hella cool. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to do Hot Blooded.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like a Hot Blooded with you and Lou would be awesome.
That'd be rad. I know. David Lee Roth, I probably would want to do something really outside the box that people wouldn't expect. Like, I don't know, Jolene or something, you know, by Dolly Parton, you know, there's something just so out there. I've always wanted to record the song Candy by Iggy Pop.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I love that. Oh, I love that song. I melt with that song. So I would love to do that. I mean, I don't know, maybe David Lee Roth, maybe somebody else, but I've always wanted to record that song. Butch Walker and I talked about that before. But Butch is so busy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
That guy is amazing too.
That guy is amazing. Amazing. Yeah. We big fans of each other from back in the day. I used to go see him at Hotel Cafe in Hollywood. And then I found out years later, I mean, because of Instagram, again, you know, belly to belly with the people, you meet people. And he told me that when he moved to LA, like he had the biggest crush on me. He said he had a photo of me on his flipping guitar case.
Oh, damn.
Really?
Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Butch is like, he's one of my heroes, amazing songwriter, amazing guy, hella good looking.
Oh, he's
great singer.
He's produced, like, I was watching an interview he did with Rick Beato where he was talking about how he did a solo album called like Left of Self-Centered, I think. Because my ex-wife was like a huge Butch Walker fan, but cool. Avril Lavigne stole her entire look from him. The fucking like the plaid skirt and shit. He had like the business kind of like just wearing a tie with like jeans and shit, like that kind of shit.
Yeah, yeah. He helped create her for sure. He's worked with everybody. You know, he's worked with everybody, and he's had an amazing career. I flew out to see them, The Marvelous Three. I guess it was October of 2023.
Oh, wow. When they did the reunion shows.
Yes. I was at one of those shows, and I didn't tell him I was coming. I just showed up, and it was at the House of Blues, and it was an amazing night. They were so good. I mean, he doesn't miss a beat, and he still does all his tricks with the pick and all that. Like, you know, that's a showman. Like that's rock and roll. That's showmanship, you know, like, and I sing, and I'm a good singer. I'm a solid singer, but mostly I'm a performer. I'm an entertainer. That's really how I see myself. I'm more of an entertainer than, you know, like I would never get on American Idol, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Or The Voice. I don't think so. But I bring something else. I bring the show. I mean, catch me any day going into a Starbucks and you'll know what I mean. I'm like, yeah, I'm a dork. Anyway.
So when you talk about yourself being the show, it reminds me of like a question I wanted to ask you. Like, who do you see today that reminds you of you?
Oh, wow.
Very good question.
That's a crazy cool question. I know who. Kelsey Carter.
Okay.
I don't even know who that is.
100%. Kelsey Carter and the Heroines. From Australia, I believe. Amazing singer. Doesn't give a flip. She's the girl that did this social media stunt where she said that she had tattooed Justin Bieber's face on her face. Do you remember that a few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, but that's great.
And she's a gorgeous girl, black hair, really full natural lips. She's just flipping gorgeous. And she had like this tattoo of Justin Bieber, like this big, like on her cheek. And I was like, holy shit, what did this woman do? I was like, oh, I can't believe she did that. And of course it was a publicity stunt. It wasn't a real tattoo, but I loved that about her, that she did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's a showman. She does not care what you think of her. And I met her at NAMM when I guess it was 2 years ago for the She Rocks Awards. And we just really super hit it off, exchanged phone numbers and everything. And then I went and saw her at the Troubadour last year. And for real, she reminds me of me. Like,
nice.
She really does. Like, she just goes for it. She's at the Troubadour, but she gets down to the floor with the people. She's like on her knees, like screaming and singing her guts out. And some of the way that she communicates with the crowd and like being a rebel and all of those things, like it really reminded me of me back in the day on stage. And there's a live album of Femme Fatale on tour with Cheap Trick. And right before the song Rebel, I do this whole rant, being a rebel is about doing what you want to do and being what you want to be. And like, I'm just like preaching, right? And the crowd's into it and going crazy. And she did very similar approach.
Oh, nice. And
it gave me goosebumps. And yeah, I love her. I'm going to be at her album release party soon. So yeah, she's amazing front person. And
Kelsey Carter.
Yeah, Dustin, you need to check her out. I'll send you.
Totally will.
She's really something. Oh, incredible voice.
We're music lovers, so like I listen to all kinds of different stuff. It's funny, we were talking about country a couple weeks ago, and Joey, who's not here tonight, was talking about, he's like put me onto some country he likes, and then I opened my playlist, and I like the first song in my playlist is Casey Musgraves. Hi, have you ever heard of her? High Times.
I haven't. Casey
Musgraves. Yeah, she's like the modern Dolly Parton.
Wow.
For me, just a brilliant songwriter. Like her songwriting, the stories she tells, and the way that her lyrics and stuff, she's fucking amazing. Like one of her albums called Same Trailer, Different Park.
Oh, nice.
But she's amazing though. But yeah, like I will totally check that out. Kelsey Carter, and it's rock though.
It's rock. The beginning of her career was more pop. And I'm not exactly sure why. It almost felt a label influence to me. I'm not sure, but there is a tinge of pop in it. But no, she's a total rock star. Like she comes out on stage first of all with lots of clothes on, and kind of tells the story of feeling really uncomfortable with her body as a woman, like, and a young woman. And then, little by little, like her confidence came, and like little by little, she starts taking stuff off. And for the show, she's like, got like kind of chaps on and like a torn t-shirt and not a lot on. And she's just fucking badass. And she just goes for it. Yeah. You'll really dig her. Yeah, I think that I presented her well because
you did.
Is all that, and I think that she's going to be hugely, hugely famous. I mean, I know that she's doing really, really well, but I see her just taking over the world for sure.
Well, that's a good cosign.
Yeah, it is. It's a great cosign.
I would actually love to do a song with her too. So, I mean, she's probably the only female that I would want to work with. I mean, other than the greats, of course, you know, Ann and Nancy Wilson and, you know, Izzy and Lizzie Hale and not Izzy, Lizzie Hale and people like that. But, you know, you know, I mean, Stevie Nicks would be amazing too. But I would love to do something with Kelsey because I think we would really go for it. I actually, though, I'm releasing a song with Leather Leone from Chastain. I don't know if you know that band from the 80s. Leather is she's got black hair. She's very Dio-esque in her singing. And so we just cut a song together and that just got mixed and mastered last weekend. And I just heard it and it's effing great. There's all sorts of stuff coming.
Did you say you're doing new Femme Fatale stuff too?
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I'm trying to think what I can say about that.
Well,
we will have you back later, but
the cool thing is a lot of people don't realize that they probably have heard Femme Fatale and they have heard the songs, and there's probably a lot of women that are influenced by you that don't know or they don't really know who it is that's influenced them.
Yeah, could very well be. I mean, you know, there weren't a lot of us back in the day.
No.
You know,
Waiting for the Big One was a pretty big hit, right?
Yeah, it did pretty well. It was, I mean, we were a baby band. It hit about 60, 70 stations out of the gate across the country. And which was pretty good. At least that's what we were told for a baby band. And then, you know, the next single was Falling In and Out of Love. I'm actually going to be playing at the Whiskey May 13th. Chuck Wright invited me back. I did a couple, it was 80s night, like 80s Sunset Strip night. And so he invited me. I've known Chuck Wright for a gazillion years. And, so he invited me. I did Waiting for the Big One, and I did Lita Ford's Kiss Me Deadly.
Nice.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to do Ace of Spades. Can't wait.
Motorhead?
Yes. I'm going to do Ace of Spades and a Femme Fatale song.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be hella fun. Chuck said, come out and bring a whip. So I think I'm going to. You know, I really think I'm going to because that's just fun.
Dominatrix style.
Yeah, why not? So yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. I mean, you know, the book deal. I mean, I've just turned in like 250 bullet points about a week ago to my literary people. It's funny because that all came about because of OnlyFans.
I was gonna ask you about OnlyFans because that's how we actually met you too. We did a piece on it. And we were giving you props. We're like, that's fucking awesome that she's doing this at, you know, and doesn't give a fuck. So that's
I have to tell you honestly, when I saw the YouTube channel and this and that, and I saw my name and this and that and the headline, I was like, look, first of all, let's say nothing really bothers me. But I did sort of like, okay, let's sit down and see what these guys are talking about, right? I sort of thought like, oh, here we go. They're going to give me shit because not everybody loves me, number one.
So just so you know too, I definitely craft my thumbnails to like elicit a response.
I was going to say, yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I totally get it. I do the same thing. You have to make it salacious we're being bombarded 24/7, right? You got to have something that's going to stand out. And, you know, for me, sometimes it's that, you know, so, but I thought
if you got it, use it. I think that's what we said in the video.
Yes. So, but I sat down, I was like, I'm going to watch this and let's see what they say. But I did think, oh, 3 guys, I'm thinking, oh, they're going to rape me through the coals.
We're going to be jerky. We're going to be like Howard Stern style.
Yeah. 3 Howard Sterns, huh?
Yeah. They're, you know, they're just going to question it and tell me I'm too old and all this stuff. And so, but I sat and I was like, holy cow. I was like, these guys are so hella cool. I loved you. I was like, you guys were so supportive. And, you know, all of you, Dryden, Eric, Dustin, like all of you guys were just cool. And I just was like, right on. That made me feel so good. And that's why I reached out to you, because I didn't expect it, number one. And then I just had to let you know how much I appreciated it, because, you know, I mean, again, and I will say this, I mean, my sister, one of my sisters has a real problem with it and hasn't talked to me since.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Well, wait, she has sort of talked to me. I mean, she sent me an Easter card, but she's not happy with this at all.
Is she religious?
She's not,
which
really is shocking. My family is it's 6 kids, and 3 are religious and 3 are not.
Where are you in the
pile I'm in? I'm in the pile.
What, like age-wise, where are you in your sibling lineup?
It's Deborah, Valerie, moi.
Oh, so you're the middle child.
Richard, John, and Irene. And I'm really close with my oldest sister and my youngest sister. Those are the 2 that flew out to be with me after the news. Yeah, so my oldest sister, and we've been like this, but yeah, she's not happy about it. And so she just said she can't support it. And I just said, I'm not asking you to support
No.
Is
she on your list?
On my list?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Of people that you would have support you.
Oh, she's totally on my support side.
Okay. All right.
Not with this.
Okay.
No. And but you know, at the same time, I mean, the truth is, I mean, I am a grown-ass woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get to make my own choices. I have no children. My parents have left the planet years ago. I don't have anybody to say, I get to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to.
You don't have to explain it to us.
I've wanted to do this for a pretty long time. And I knew, it's funny because I knew if I did it in the last band that I would get fired. I mean, I knew there was no way.
Yeah.
Is there any chance they fired you because of that? Were you doing that before?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I didn't jump into the arena until this last October.
Okay.
No, that wasn't even a topic at all. It was no way. I know that I can't do that while I'm in this camp. And I was okay with that. But, you know, at the same time, it was like, dang, I really want to do that because it just seems fun. And like, you know, I said this before, I've had so many guys that now are in their, I don't know how old they are, but they, you know, the videos were sexy. You know, they were shot by Marty Kullner. I don't know if you know that name. Marty Kullner, very famous video director. He actually just passed away March 17th, believe it or not.
Wow.
Marty changed my life. I mean, Marty was a very important person in my life because of the videos. I mean, I remember that, you know, how I was being managed by Howard Kaufman, HK Management. And, you know, he got me the best video director. You know, Marty's famous for the Whitesnake videos with Tawny Katane rolling on the Jaguar, and Dee Snider, the Cher video where she comes out with the cheeks with the tattoo on her ass.
Oh, I remember that so well when I was a kid.
You know, Marty is the man, and Marty has always been known for making women beautiful. Like, that's Marty's thing. He loves women. He's a married man. He's been married forever, but he's got these beautiful crystal blue ocean eyes, and he's just hella cool, and he gets it, and he's just awesome. And so when I found out he was doing my videos, it was like, I couldn't believe it. And we shot 22 hours. The video took forever, like just over and over, and all the shots, you know, there's that one shot in Waiting for the Big One that my boobs like fall out of my bustier, and they're filming me, and I'm just rocking and rolling. I just cover them up, and I just kept on singing, and they put that in there. They don't show the topless part, but they show me covering myself. And Marty loved that because he was just like, you know, I remember him saying, "You're the real deal. Like you know, you gave everything." And that changed my life. Those videos. I remember when I was sitting in Howard Kaufman's office and they presented the video and it's on the big screen and we're watching it in the office. And then Marty called on the conference call. And I remember I just was so happy. And I just said, "Oh my God, Marty, you made me so fuckable." That's exactly what came out of my mouth.
He's like, "I didn't have to work that hard. Come on."
Of course, that's what he said. But I was like, "God, you made me so fuckable." And then he said, "Well, everybody's going to have to just, stand in line because, they're all going to come after you and all this stuff." So cute. And I will say the easiest way to get a date in the 80s was to have a video on MTV.
Imagine.
They did show up. But yeah, Marty's great. And then again, Marty, I don't know if you know this about me. I created a reality show called Ex-Wives of Rock. It was, I sold it. I had a co-creator. She was my best friend at the time. She's probably not happy that I'm on OF either. She was very straight-laced. Who
cares?
But so we created a show called Ex-Wives of Rock. And it was Charisse Neal, who was married to Vince, Bobby Brown, who was the cherry pie girl.
I just watched a thing about her.
Blue Dixon, who was married to Jerry Dixon from Warrant. And then Athena, who was Tommy Lee's younger sister.
Oh, wow.
And
I forgot he's Greek.
Yes. And she's very tall and Greek and beautiful.
Athena is a very Greek name.
Yes. And we sold that to Slice Network in Canada and Access TV here in the States. And it ran for 3 seasons, 54 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was an amazing show. I'm a co-creator and an EP on the show. But I bring that up because when I was having meetings about this idea, because I had this idea, I was like, my co-creator wanted to write a book about me. And I was like going to her house every Monday to tell her stories. And then I just got the reality show bug. And I said, let's do a reality show. And so we started putting it together around rock and roll. And that's where the idea came. There was a show out around that time called Married to Rock with Duff McKagan's wife, Perry Farrell's wife.
Oh, wow.
And I forget who else, but it was Married to Rock and it was on E. And so I said, let's do an Ex-Wives of Rock, like 80s rock stars, ex-wives. So that's what we did. And we sold it. But the first person that I went to, we were like, okay, I've got my phone. I'm like, who do we know? Who do we know in TV land? We know nobody in TV land. I'm like flipping through. And then I see Marty Callner. And I hadn't talked to him in a few years. But I called Marty. I said, we have this idea about a reality show. He loved it. He was on board. We started having meetings at the Cream Cheese office and it was born. So we filmed the first sizzle reel with Marty, worked with him for about 3 months on it. He tried to sell it. It didn't get picked up. And then, we kind of felt like we had exhausted all of his connections. And so he gave us his blessing and said, go for it. And then we did. We revamped the sizzle and that's when we sold it. But without Marty, none of that would have happened. So Marty, he changed my life with rock and roll and he changed my life with my TV career.
That's crazy. So you created a TV show.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And I still am in TV. I'm a casting producer. I've been in the business since 2012.
Wow.
So I work, when I'm not rocking and rolling, I work in television as a casting producer. I've worked for the same company, Renegade 83 Productions. I've worked for them for the last 10 years. They're famous for the show Naked and Afraid on Discovery. I know that show. Survival show. But recently, last November, December, Lionsgate bought them out and dismantled the casting department. But the head of the casting department, the VP of casting, is a man named Peter Higgins. And I've worked with Peter that whole 10 years. It's me and Peter and Jillian. We're like the threesome that have done so many shows together. Anyway, long story short, they dismantled the casting department, and Peter had for years talked to me and Jillian about starting his own casting company. And so when they dismantled everything, he messaged me about it. And I mean, I was like, oh, fuck, that sucks. And then I said, but now you can do your own casting company. And he said, girl, I'm ahead of you. And he already had it going.
Oh, wow.
And we just wrapped a show 2 weeks ago for Netflix under Peter Higgins casting. And it's a show called Pop the Balloon. It airs on Thursday nights. And you should watch it. It'll be airing. The 3rd episode airs this Thursday. And it's a dating show that's based off of a YouTube series that Netflix took over, and they kind of revamped it and made it shiny and new. Produced it. And yeah, so that I just wrapped a show 2 weeks ago, and there will be more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have talents outside of music.
Well, I guess so. Yes. I just love creating, and I love doing things. I'm not like, I don't watch TV, believe it or not, except I do watch the shows that I cast on streaming. But I don't sit around and do nothing. I do stuff.
Staying busy.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. No husband, no boyfriend, no dogs. Dogs are all gone. Yeah, I've had 6 of them. But life is good. I've got good friends. Charisse lives out here in Palm Springs, where I do, fairly close. She flips houses. And so we're really close. We get together pretty regularly. But and then I go to Hollywood when it's time to, get rock and roll and dirty. So that's my life, guys. That's what's going on. And then, drop in OnlyFans and getting publicity for it. I did want to tell you about the book thing that came up. It was kind of amazing. Daryl Silver, he's a literary agent. I've known him for years. He has his own production company called The Idea Factory. His company is famous for the show Survivor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he co-created that show from the very beginning. So Daryl and I worked on a show together. We were developing a show about these hot morticians, girls that work in the death industry. So I put it on together. We called them Embalmer Girls. And I don't know if you know who Carla Harvey is.
Oh yeah, from Butcher Babies.
Yeah. So she's one of them.
She is.
Yeah.
She's in Lords of Acid now too.
Yes, she's doing great stuff. I can't wait to see her video. I haven't watched it yet.
Lords of Acid, another band when I was a kid, very sexual. Like their big song was like, "I want to sit on your face" or something like that.
Yeah, well, like I said before, and I've said this in interviews. I mean, I've sung a song called "Waiting for the Big One." Like that's been my theme song for 35 years. This should not come as a shock. Including my sister, or anyone that has seen the videos of me rolling around on the ground with Marty right there or with the camera on me, I mean, it's funny to me. But anyway, so Daryl called me. It's been a couple of months now, but Daryl called me when the news broke about OnlyFans, because I did a press release with Mitch Schneider organization. Mitch worked with me back in the day. And I knew that I wanted to be the one to tell what I was doing. I didn't want, because I did it all really under the radar. I was really inviting people from Instagram to join. Like if they were flirty with me, or like they'd always say, "Oh, you're so hot." And I'd be like, "Can you keep a secret? You want to come join me on OnlyFans?" And,
sure.
And so I had like this really small, I don't know, 20 people, 25 people. And then I thought to myself, I think I can trust these people, but I don't know that I can really trust them to keep this secret, because for some of them, you know, I've been like their teenage dream for years, right? And I just thought, you know, someone might just get bold and want to tell their friend, and then it's like, who knows? Or maybe I get a request of something freaky that I don't want to do, because you can do whatever you want to do on there, right?
Sure.
And so maybe I get a request and I say no, and somebody gets mad and then they blast it, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was thinking about all of these things. So I wanted to be the first, and I was going to be going to NAMM in January. So I called up Mitch Schneider. I said, look, I've just been in the studio with Lou Gramm. We have a single that's coming out, and I'm on OnlyFans, and I want to announce that. That was really why I called him. I really wanted to have a publicity about OnlyFans, but I knew that I had to kind of mask it somewhat in music. And so, so we did it, you know, we did it. And I was the first to get it out there. It's like, I just owned it, and like, this is what I'm doing. And yes, I'm this age, and I'm just living life to the fullest. And I quoted Cher wanting to, you know, the quote from her is, she always thought she could have been badder. She's like, I was really bad, but I could have been badder. And I saw that interview with her, and I was just like, man, she's right. You know, like, I don't have anybody to answer to, and it doesn't matter. And I'm not hurting anybody, and I'm having fun. So why not? So,
and you don't have any kids or anything either. So
yeah.
Yeah. Cause I know, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know that Charisse would love to do this. You know, she's told me that she would, but she has a son, and she said, look, I have a son. I just can't. Yeah. So, you know, but I have a freedom that a lot of people don't. And so I'm going to run with that freedom. Right.
Also though, fuck what anyone says. Cause like that's, I used to work in, like, when I first moved to LA, I worked for like one of the first big porn sites.
Yeah.
So I like worked in the adult industry myself for a while, and I DJ'd at strip clubs for a while. Like I did. So I worked like in that industry, and it's like, there's a lot that people don't see. Like there's a lot of, there were a lot of like really good strippers that like I'm like, these women are angels. They're like, this guy would never even get close to a woman if it was, you know, like that kind of, not that, but just, you know, there's so much more. That's just one example, I guess. But there's so much more to that world that people just from the outside are just like, oh, that's terrible. It's like, no, fucking everyone has sex.
I was gonna say, in America, it's like for some reason taboo to like talk about sex, or it's like, no,
it's so strange, right? It's just like, I actually have been talking about this on my TikTok, because I got a message from someone, because the age group of people that come to my OnlyFans or talk to me on Instagram range from like 19 to 62.
Sure.
Like all of it. And I had a 22-year-old message me and tell me that, you know, he like thought that I was so hot and all this stuff. And then he said, I hope you don't mind me telling you that I've jerked off to you. Right? And,
of course.
And so I printed that up and I read it on my TikTok just to kind of, you know, see what people thought. And then I gave what I thought, which is, I thought it was really cool and brave of him to even send me a message like that. And I was flattered. And I did have someone text me and said, you're out of control.
What? Really?
Shut up. And you'd be shocked to know who this person is. And I can't say who it is, and I won't. But I was like, oh wow, like when did that change happen? Like, this is someone that's a total rebel.
Oh,
and,
okay.
It was surprising. So yeah, Dryden, you're right. Like it's so taboo, and it's just people just get weird about it. A lot of people get weird about it. And with what you were saying, Dustin, like they just see that world is just so dark and corrupt and evil and all this stuff. But, you know, these are just hardworking people, and there is dark and decadence everywhere.
Yeah. It's the porn industry is no different than any corporate fucking job that I've ever had. There's the same kind of like scandalous shit going on. There's the same kind of people abusing their power. There's people who just do it because they like it, and it's good money for fucking, you know. And it's like people. America just is backwards about sex. Like, you can show people being mowed down with guns and stabbed to death and stuff on TV, but like a boob or a nipple is like, oh God, gee, what would Jesus do?
It's such a weird thing. I don't get it, and it's just so Puritan, and I just find it fascinating, and that's why my TikTok, you know, is what it is right now, and I'm talking about dating younger guys and all this stuff, and I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But I'm surprised that there is the thing that drives me a little nutty, though, and I will say, is that people want to get all up in arms about stuff, but I know they're doing it, right? And they're having sex, or they're doing this, or they're on OnlyFans secretly. I just am talking about it, you know, like it's almost
You're just being transparent.
Yes. And it's almost like it seems like they believe that if they just keep it all here, it's not as bad, right? They don't talk about it. It's a secret. But no, it's all the same. It's just, I'm voicing about it. It's just not that big of a deal. And I have great conversations on there. You know, lots of guys, you know, I've started asking people if they're there for, you know, are you here to talk music, or are you here to talk dirty? I mean, I really just kind of cut to the chase with that, because a lot of people, you know, they're not really quite sure what it's going to be, right? And I think that some men have been nervous, and you know, I mean, it's just a screen. Number one, I can't come through and like devour you.
Sure.
So, but also there's a respect level that's fascinating as well. Like they don't want to cross a line with me, and it's very sweet and very cute. And so, you know, a lot of them call me queen. You're my queen, and it's very adorable, and I love it. But they do respect me, and they don't want to cross the line or be too much or whatever. And so, so I like to just kind of break the ice by that statement. You know, are you here to talk music, or are you here to talk dirty? Because Talk Dirty to me was a Poison song, number one. So it all kind of feels right.
Classic.
And it just kind of, you know, does break the ice, I think. And then I can know where we're kind of at, you know, and have them feel comfortable about it. And then, you know, there are some requests, like I said before, that just not going to happen. You know, some people really want, they really want me with someone sexually.
And they want to like see porn.
Yeah, they want, and you know, I'm a rock star. I'm not a porn star. I mean,
yeah.
That's really the truth. And so you can find porn all over OnlyFans, but that's not what I'm doing. Sure. But it's definitely sexy. And I mean, you're definitely going to see, you know, boobs for sure. I mean,
it's funny because for Dryden's generation, like, you know, Dryden's my son, but like he had.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's my son. He's had girlfriends that were like, had like massive, I mean, he can maybe talk about this, but he had girlfriends that had like massive Instagram followings, you know, that are like, because they're pretty girls with it, like post pics with bikinis and stuff, you know. And he was always like, he never had a problem. He's like, she's like, this guy wants to like send me some shoes, and Dryden would be like, oh, you can send them to our house if you don't want your parents to know. Sorry, I don't want to get you in trouble, but
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean.
The only reason I brought that up though is it's just like in this day and age, it's like I just see it's like you're first of all you were a rock star, you were already famous, so it's like why not, you know what I mean? Like God, if I could do it, I would do it, you know, like if I was good looking enough to get anyway. Well,
you know, it's funny because I've had so many guys in the industry when the news broke. You know, because there were some, I was like, even my manager, I wasn't sure, well, even Peter Higgins in TV land, I remember I called him. I was like, so Peter, hypothetically, if one of your casting producers wanted to start an OnlyFans, hypothetically, how would that work with you? And he said, Lorraine, whatever you do on your own time is your own time. And
good man.
He's hella cool. Like Peter is the best boss on the planet. He's just super great. And so I knew that wasn't a problem. But then my career manager, Danny Stanton, I was like, oh crap, I'm going to tell Danny, but I did it differently with Danny. With Peter, I did this whole hypothetically, but with Danny, I just said, this is what I'm doing. Like I'm joining OnlyFans and I just want to let you know. And he was great with it. So it's fascinating. But then I did have a lot of, fellow rock stars reach out, under the radar and basically give me props. And it was really, really cool. Some people that I wasn't sure if they would judge me with it, but, really on board and kind of high-fiving me about it,
Yeah.
So
the people that have make it a big deal are probably like
it's projection at that point.
Exactly. I was gonna say, true story. I actually had a friend I used to work with who was a male who had an OnlyFans, and I go, that it's like mostly dudes jerking off to you on there, probably, right? Like he's like,
yeah, probably, yeah. Oh well. It's an amazing platform in so many ways. And I do love the fact that I get to connect with people that do have those stories, so many. Oh my God, when your video came out, I was 15 years old. I can't believe I'm talking to you. Oh my God, I can't believe it. They get attached. They're very sweet. I do get gifts. I have gotten roses show up to, when I performed in Hollywood, I had roses that showed up. Nobody really knows where I live. I keep that all kind of low pro, but I get lots of gifts to my post office box, and people are just genuinely sweet and really nice. I've gotten some really beautiful lingerie. I've gotten lots of rock and roll boots. People are really generous and really sweet. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep doing it. I think I kind of maybe have a number in my mind that I might change course once I hit that number, but it's going to be quite a while before I hit that number because I'm enjoying it too much. And again, it's for me, it's just another dimension of entertainment of who I am.
Yeah, it's a way to be intimate with fans.
Yeah, it really is. And I really care about them. Like when they show up, it's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Or, and sometimes, the subscriptions fluctuate,
True.
They come and go sometimes. And then when people come back, it's like, oh, I'm so glad you're back. That's awesome. A lot of people message me, like there's been a lot of people that have had health issues. And they message me that they're in the hospital, and, I'm someone for them to confide in and talk to and make them feel special and important. And I have taken photos in my nurse outfit, to make them feel better, because that sucks,
That's cool though. What's cool about it too is you kind of set your own kind of limitations. Like it's really up to you what does and doesn't go.
100%. Whatever I want to do, whatever I'm comfortable with. A lot of people are really into feet stuff, which is really fascinating too. And I don't think my feet are particularly hot, but they do. And so, I've had people pay for my pedicures and things. And foot stuff is easy.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's just really been great to me. And even me saying out loud, like, I have a number that I'll probably think about changing trajectory. I really don't think I'll ever stop, because it just feels super fun. And I just don't see a reason to stop, to be honest with you. I just don't. I just don't. Even with everything that's going on musically with me right now, I think it all just helps and enhances. And I'll probably offer like a special giveaway to my OnlyFans people. I mean, I've thought about when I'm back out on tour, like, you know, like the OnlyFans people get some special treatment, you know, they get to beat the line or whatever, you know, they get a special one-on-one meet and greet, you know, or they all get to be in a certain room with me, you know, things like that. I mean, it's just another great way to connect with people. And like I said at the beginning of this interview, I've always been about belly to belly with the people. You know, without the people, you're nothing. And I don't put myself up here like I'm all that. I mean, I am all that, but I don't like, you know, I mean, I'm really just a person, and I'm pretty down to earth. I'm just flashy, and I like nice things, and I'm kind of diva-ish, but I'm still a dork at the same time. So I'm just having fun with my life in general.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time tonight. I'm starting.
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna have to go get something to eat.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Do you mind if I take like a screenshot?
Not at all. Of course not.
Let's all get cute. Are you ready? I'll even say I'll count before I do it. But you guys have really made my night. So, okay, 1, 2, 3. And I did it. And I'm going to post that on Instagram, and we all look amazing.
Yeah, well, it was really awesome the way that we met you too, because I think that's really cool that you kind of like hopped on our video, and we're genuine about it too. You know, like we respect it, and it's very, you know, like I said too, you're a part of rock history. Like you had you were in Vixen, you were in, so it's cool to talk to you and get to know you. And please, like, come talk to us when you have some news. You got some new tracks dropping?
I will. I have some things in my inbox, and I will definitely let you guys know. I sort of feel like I almost maybe want you guys to be the first to know. So we'll see. But very soon, within the next 2 weeks, probably, I have some really big news. So
nice.
We do this every Monday, so
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. Mwah. Thank you. Really great to know you. I feel really like we have a friendship now. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for letting me talk as much as I do. I have a lot to say.
No, that's why we had you on. We wanted to hear you talk.
So I wanted to ask you before you leave, do you feel like when people send you stuff, do you feel like it's like the modern way of being a rock person and getting stuff?
I feel like I feel.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what I'm saying though is like when somebody sends you something in the mail, does that feel like a modern like they wouldn't be able to do that if you were on tour?
Like, you know how they like throw gifts at like opera singers back in the day, even, or like people get.
Well, I'm not sure I totally understand, but what I will say is that I feel like it's a way for them to express how they feel about me, and it's a way for them to connect with me and sort of bond with me and almost like move up in the line, right? Like, now we have something special, you know? And when I see them in the crowd, I mean, I'm going to remember when I see them backstage, it's like, oh my God, like, thank you so much.
Exactly.
For the boots. It's like, it's more of a connection. And I think that that's why people do it, you know?
Sure.
By the way, I'm going to go see Oasis in Manchester, July 11th.
Oh, and lucky.
I am so excited.
I'm jealous.
The trip is planned. I'm going to be doing a pub gig when I'm out there. I hope I get to meet Liam and Noel. I'm a huge
Noel Gallagher is like one of my favorite people.
He's
Dryden, you're with me on this.
Oh yeah,
I love them.
Both of them. I like both of them. Liam and
Liam is God to me. Liam is the ultimate rock star. I love him so much. I know he's engaged, and Deborah seems really cool, but I hope I get to meet them. I hope I get to be on the side of the stage. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome, Lorraine. Please come talk to us again.
I will. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Good night.
Take care. Have a good night. All right, guys. Well, we do have one more. We do have one more piece we can do, Dryden.
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah, real quick. Let's watch this because I wanted to react to it. Just
this is the drummer from Gojira, and this is Dryden's contribution tonight. He did this drum solo.
So yeah, and to set this up too, he posts these like pretty regularly every year. He does like a drum solo, and he kind of adds like some new element to it each time that makes it unique instead of just, it's cool. It's kind of different to see a drummer doing something like that, because you would think like a guitar player or whatever, but it's crafty, and he's, in my opinion, one of the best drummers of our generation that's alive right now. For sure. So
absolutely.
And I haven't seen this. You probably reacted to it because you recorded it, but Eric,
I did, dude. Honestly, I made a salad while I was recording it, so
okay,
I haven't
cool.
seen it
So yeah, it'll be a blind reaction for all.
Because so none of us have seen this.
Cool.
I literally put it on and hit record. So here we go.
The goat.
Holy shit, man.
That's pretty cool.
The thought that I had watching that just now is, I think drumming is like the purest form of music, or the purest like expression of music.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so like the rhythm is so natural, and like you can, like the first musicians were probably like beating on rocks, like cavemen beating on rocks.
Yeah, or like war drums and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, man, that was fucking incredible.
And I would suggest, I mean, we don't have to do it on the stream, but now that you guys have seen that, go back and watch the ones from the years prior, because they're all different and they're all super fucking dope like that too.
He's doing like, we were talking about how there isn't like anyone who's like really changed the game in metal.
Yeah, those guys.
Gojira's,
yeah.
They're for the last. When did they start? Like they started late 90s.
That's the thing.
2000s?
They started a long time ago, but they never really made it big. Yeah, until pretty recently.
My friends were talking about them for years before I ever like really bothered to like get into them.
And what I love about them is it's that same kind of thing where like Van Halen and Alex Van Halen, Mario and Joe, the singer, are brothers, and are Pantera dying. So they have that dynamic where they're just like super fucking locked in and like.
So I just cut this video of us talking about Van Halen, and do you remember, Eric? You were on this. You guys have to watch it. I gotta find the clip of Joey too, because Joey in one episode he said like, I really like the Doobies, and I like slowed it down. I really like the Doobies.
Yeah,
and I dropped like the sunglasses. But with this Van Halen one, do you remember like Alex Van Halen goes, "I'm from the street." And I started rapping. I was like, I'm Alex Van Halen and I'm from the street. Like in the cut, when I cut it, I put a beat under it. And then I like cut it and I put it again at the end. So it comes back in at the end, just like as a joke before it goes out. But
nice.
Anyway,
I wanted to also touch on this real quick because I saw this while we were on live. Can any of you tell me what this means?
I saw it too. I honestly read it, and that's why I didn't show it, because I was like,
what does that mean?
Dude,
I want to ask
further no disrespect, man, but like further clarification there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we need you to elaborate. Otherwise, I don't know what that means.
Otherwise, man, that must be some great shit.
Great shit. I want what he's having.
Yeah, I want to smoke some of what you got, homie, because that's some fucking serious shit.
I got pissed. Bad.
But I before we close out too, I want to say like I like having guests like Lorraine too, because like, and you guys we all did a good job. When we have a guest like that, it's like I want to listen to them talk. So I try to
And I don't know that much about that era either, so I kind of let you guys ask the questions.
I kept looking over at Dryden and I just start like smiling because Dryden.
Well, no,
I was listening.
I
know.
I'm curious, like, to who does she think she is? I mean, who does she think she influenced today? I mean, that's a legitimate question.
Totally. That was a great question. That was like one of the best ones. And she dropped some names of bands I need to check out, like that Kelsey Carter.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go check that out for sure. Also, like she's a friend. She's a friend of the show now. Like, you know, and I fucking love the openness, and I love how fucking like sexually aggressive she is, and she doesn't give a fuck, and it's fucking cool. So props to Lorraine.
Yeah.
And let's get out of here because I need to get something to eat. Thanks for joining us, y'all. We love you. Dryden's gonna pee his pants, and we'll see you next time.
Planet After Hours. Our OnlyFans will be dropping.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
Maybe we can do a crossover.
Let's Dryden pee. Let's Dryden pee.
Dryden's gonna go pee on.
I'll take a video for you.
Yeah, someone's in a tub in your bathroom, and Sorry, that was disgusting. Anyway, we love y'all. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week on Monday.
Keep it brutal.